So I just got through watching the first episode of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. There's a lot of changes compared to the movie. Not bad changes, just slightly different references. Like instead of it being Pac-Man, it's about the Sonic cartoon. I think poking fun at the fact this is a cartoon, so they changed it up. The song they play is different in the band sequence. Uh, Animation is absolutely amazing. It's really fast paced animation, and while I haven't read the books and only have read pieces of them, um, yeah, it seems to match. Everything's really nicely animated. It sucks it took so long for me to find out that this released, because I couldn't find the release date for the longest time, and then it's like 3 days after it released when I started watching this, which is also why the video took a while to upload. Um, yeah, no, this is really fun, and the battle sequence was very short. Scott lost. That was quite the cliffhanger. And they're explaining all the different things in very odd ways, but they're explaining a whole lot more than the movie did. So that's props. Yeah, good episode. Very good start, and we'll see it on the next episode. So, by the second episode, everything flips on its head from the original books and movie. Um, I don't know that I like this shit. It was interesting. I think they had to do this because it's the same exact cast, so feel like a retread otherwise. Scott stays dead for the whole episode, and all the characters get introduced, and they all have some bits of explanation. A lot of it really does feel crammed and forced, but they make jokes about these characters just bragging on them because they're egotistical, which is how we get the explanation. So it makes sense. And I think that's part of the joke is how forced it is. It was funny. I'll give him that. It is pretty funny still. Um, yeah. So Scott stays dead for the whole dead for the whole episode until the last like 15 seconds. Um, this was a very interesting episode. Very long fight scene. Uh, Gideon no longer controls the league. It's the Indian guy who died in the first chunk of the movie. So it looks like we're getting a lot more with a lot of the characters. I like it. I like this a lot. This is very interesting. Good episode. So far, my favorite. So I just got through watching the third episode of the Scott Pilgrim anime, and it looks like they're trying to make Ramona the main character this time around, not Scott, which is a bit of a twist. Um, I guess they still have to label it Scott Pilgrim versus World, but I would make more of the art prominent on her, not 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 him. That seems like a big mistake because that could lead to people claiming false advertising, which it kind of is. But anyway, no, it was a good episode, and it has different has them using the subspace emissary to go and fly through different movies, which was really cool. A lot of really fast paced fighting in all these episodes so far, except for the first one, which is more of an establishing episode. Um, and apparently G-Man knows the coffee worker lady. Um, yeah, that was an interesting twist. But yeah, it seems like they're gonna do the takes on the seven evil X's and like redeems them sort of style of story, which is nice, and it shows a different spin, and it kind of is basically showing the faults in relationships and all that. I think they're trying to get across a lesson or something. Um, it's pretty good so far. I am thoroughly enjoying this. And maybe they could set up a second season where it's pretty much the first story. Because they haven't even introduced Knives' dad, which I could have sworn I saw in the trailer. I don't know. Speculation, and Scott was taken through a subspace emissary portal. So yeah, uh, I don't know. I think that's Knives' dad who grabbed him, because he has control over that as well. At least going based off the games and the bits of the books I've seen. Really good so far, though. Really enjoying it. So, yeah, this is definitely a spin because they mention all the different beats of the first movie being the plot of the the beats of the first movie being the plot of the movie in this series, which is weird. Um, that adds a little mystery to how and who would know that. Um, it's very interesting though, and the whole Lucas Lee thing and giving each of the X's depth is really really good. I'm enjoying these episodes more and more and more. This one's my favorite so far because it has Simon Pegg and Chris Evans, and just that fact alone, especially since this is Chris Evans' character, and he's not nearly as much of a douche. He's still a little bit of a douche though, so it's fun. I like it. Um, this episode focuses a little more on heart as well than the action, so I like that a lot more. I like learning more about this world and the X's in this like version of the story. Not to mention, unless they do it in the books, they don't talk much about the past and the X's and what exactly happened with each. So yeah, because they really only do that very briefly in the movie. So this is really rectifying that in this. This is awesome. I really enjoy this a lot. Well, being that we're in the middle of the review, I think it is time for our sponsor. Today's sponsor is Master Blasters. You can go to the location as seen on the picture here. Yes, you can go and you can beat up some bad guys, get some extremely good games for your coin, and also beat the final bosses on some very, very, very cool video games. Master Blasters. Go there if you like the retro content just like this series. This episode was just weird. It has the vegan guy falling in love with Scott's roommate in 3 days, and they hook up a lot. It's very bizarre. It came out of like left field, and it's a documentary parody. Um, Portal Scott disappeared and wasn't the vegan portal. This one was really weird. This was just a weird episode. So far, I wouldn't say my least favorite, but just that was weird. So in this episode, we get the answers to everything, and this one's my favorite because it has the most going on and it's connecting everything, which those episodes are always fun to watch and very very satisfying. It was Scott and the twins and the vegan robot. I we don't know, and that's saved for next episode. But I love Gideon or Goose, and um, Lucas Lee. That was fun. That was really fun. That was my favorite part of the episode. I absolutely love that. Um, and apparently he has some sort of a plot. Um, can't tell what's that. Can't tell what that's set up for. Uh, this is good. This is very good. I'm wondering if they're trying to set up a second season. I kind of hope that just because I want more shows with more seasons, not just this single season stuff. Anywho, this is my favorite episode. Probably will be because I like the Lucas Lee and Goose thing. That yeah, that's good stuff. I like friendship segments like that. They're always really fun. Huh. The feature. Yeah. It was interesting. Scott pulled himself away to create this story because he got divorced because of unknown reasons. Maybe they'll go into it later. Now they're having a big showdown with all the exes, and they're kind of cramming all the characters in. As cliched as it sounds, because they can't, like, Scott and Ramona can't kiss until the exes are defeated. I guess it's kind of forced. Or I would have gone with that, but I would have pushed it, this piece of it, to, instead of the last episode of the show, pushed it to another season. This feels crammed. Maybe the next episode can help it so it doesn't feel so crammed, but meh, this kind of not the greatest. Okay, this was awesome. This was a very strange, very, very good finale. Oh, God. I was gonna watch the Ryan Reynolds pet horror movie, The Voices, but it's already pretty late, as you guys can see on the for the clock on when I'm recording these things. But yeah, no, this was so good. I don't want to ruin it if that movie is mediocre. I still haven't seen it. Okay, so let's actually get to talking about the episode. Sorry, I'm just really excited. That was good. That was a great series, and it was surprisingly breezy. I didn't feel worn down like I did with Titans when I binged that at night. Ah, that was a refreshing binge. That was that I like that. I haven't had that, like, oh, God, bless America. That was good. The epilogue showing where everyone is amazing, and they get attacked by future Scott, showing Scott went a bit nuts after one fight. That was, oh, future Scott thing was a bit weird, but I know I previously said this, but they really should make some Funko Pops for this. Not only because Scott Pilgrim Pops at this rate are really, really hard to find, but also because think of the amount of chases and shit you could do. You could do like a Pixel Portal chase with the vegan rogue bot. You could do a Pixel Portal chase with even older Scott. You could have so many different varieties of Ramona because she has different shirts and different hair color. I'm honestly surprised they didn't do that in the original wave. They only have like two of them. Um, and there's like future remote. Like there's so many different versions of every character, and you could do so many different sets of characters. This has so many different possibilities, and it all looks so much different than each other, warranting the reason to collect them all, or at least have a variety in choices. Funko, please make some pops off of this for a lot of reasons. We know you do well with the Stranger Things ones. Go to Netflix, make some for this, please, for the love of God. I would buy the Wave just as much as I bought the Clerks ones. Anywho, yeah, they sting Goose being the villain of a second season. Please, for the love of God, make that happen. This was so good. And like the villains all being kind of chummy, except for not, because there's some sort of plot going on with Goose. Obviously, it sets up the plot. Like it didn't say too much because it wants to leave it open for another writer to do what they want. Great stuff. Give writers more freedom, but have at least some plausibility, like some open windows for different plausibilities. Like they have the drummer kind of they have Lucas Lee kind of falling in love with the drummer, in like that's like a tease. Um, the whole thing of the future, the past, and like that gateway, you do so much. This this was amazing. I like this. This was great to see these characters again, and it's a new take, but it also makes room for like a multiversal version where the movie version is one of them, but there's like the manga version. That's a way that's a route that it could go. Um, it acknowledges the flaws of the original story, the flaws of it being, it acknowledges a lot of flaws within the story structure and our modern society, switching it up a little bit and kind of going, hey, a lot of these things are a douchey move. The movie poked fun a little. I don't know about the books. Once again, I need to get my hands on those and read those really badly, but they are really, really expensive to get your hands on. The collection box is even asininely expensive. Um, it's like $182. Uh, but I will eventually get my hands on these books one of these days. Uh, yeah, this was amazing, and with like Julie, with the one who can bleep swear, um, with her being a villain, like that sounds amazing. This like the plausibilities. I keep saying plausibilities of the future sound amazing, but this was good. I enjoyed this. I'm really excited. That was fun. That was genuinely fun. I am glad I'm starting to have fun with TV shows and movies again. And it's not just crap. I remember so much this last year that was just crap, but this is good. I like enjoying things again.